Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on Trimble Virtual World. Today it's a new video on the release 2.5.6 which we just pushed out on the installation manager. So again, if you are not running the latest version, go to the installation manager and on the drop down list you will have the latest release here. If you don't see Trimble Virtual World, it's probably because you never install it, or you might need just to go to Show All and it will appear in your list. Okay, so very simple step to do. So first of all, normally in the past we had a few issues with licensing. It has been fixed. Now you should have a lot of more simplicity to connect and log in, and so you should be able to switch between different devices and still use your own licensing. So that's one of the first announcements we are announcing. Some other announcements. So in the world, you will see then we have kind of reorganized a little bit the different scene, and the big news, it's again a new scene is available in this version. And we call it the mountain scene. It's more like a hilly side of the world. So we can see we have our friend Bob, which is on the site, and we are going to have a couple of different assets. There is a couple of trees. There is some rock face. You will find some more over there. I think there is a hut down the pass over there. We have river flowing, and we have obviously a couple of hills around it. So this scene is quite nice to do more like topographic work, creating terrain. I don't know, for example, you could be mapping the channel of the river, a nice little quest to create around that, or maybe you could be mapping the outside of the lake, maybe surveying and calculating the area of this lake. Just some interesting aspect. But really the idea behind this scene is start to exploring a bit more the immersive side. We want to work a bit more on that part. So you can see there is the water mill which is running at the moment. We have the trees over here which is moving, the plants. We even have a couple of butterflies. Maybe a bit extreme, but yeah, that's kind of the aspect. How much does that enhance the scene? All the other scenes are quite fixed, so some aspect to take in consideration. And really, again, I'm using the controller here. You can use the keyboard and play around that. So this is one of the scenes we have provided you. It's probably one of the biggest scenes, so you won't run out of space to map on it, or if you do, please send me your terrain. I really want to see your Trimble access data or your TTM from SiteWorks. Okay, so let's move on to as well some other scene than we have announced. So now if you go to the quest, when you go to create a quest, you will see from the drop down list you will have the Sandbox 1 and Sandbox 2. These two scenes are not available from the world. They are really specifically made for kind of creating a blank canvas. So I have already played with it. So you can see here I have the Sandbox 1, Sandbox 2. Maybe just as we are here, there is a possibility to rename as well your quest now, very easily. Click on it and you will be up and running. So let's look at the Sandbox 1. Sandbox 1 is really a blank canvas. It's flat. There is nothing specific. It's really to for you to focus on some aspect. So right here I did place a couple of pegs around. You see there is some control points. I did create a kind of a grid of that, so I could focus on people to experience some of the functionality of Trimble Access without being distracted by the environment around it. So a very nice one. So again, now we are on a strategy game, and that's why I'm moving dependently of the character. I'm going to switch to another, the second one, going back to the quest, and we are going to do maybe let's go to the sandbox too. Okay, so I'm going to do again the edit, and this one, so it's very similar to the sandbox one, except you can see there is a bit of more terrain on this quest. Nothing too much, should not be too distracting or disrupting. If you really want something hilly and more with more detail to it, definitely go to the previous scene I talked about. The mountain scene was probably the better suited one. But here, for example, I want to do a bit more exercise on setting up on the control point, doing some stakeout. I don't know, probably doing a volume calculation of a stockpile. Remember, all the assets are available under this list. So you can see we already have a couple of them available for you to play with. Just quickly on the strategy to remind everyone, so moving around, I'm using the arrow key at the moment. I can turn my camera with the Q and the E control, and if you place, for example, an asset here, so I'm in placing asset, if I use Q and E, is going to rotate the asset. Okay, so I'm going to place it here. Another big enhancement, which is very interesting, which I really like, is adding a new asset to the scene. And so, for example, I'm going to go back to the where's the flat one. I'm going to say edit this one, and I'm going to. So you can click here and you go browse your assets. So me, I already browsed them, and it will place them in your library. So, for example, this is one created by one of our students out of the Florida University. They created a SketchUp model and they exported an OBJ. So you can import OBJ or GLB into the virtual world. We are exploring as well to probably to integrate a bit more with some of those Trimble technology. So now I'm placing, so my cursor will be the 0, 0 usually. So this is why we have kind of a long distance. And if I use the wheel, really the control and the wheel on the mouse, you can see that I'm elevating or lowering my model. So if I want, I can really place it right here, okay? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take Bob and I'm going to place Bob over my scene, okay? For example, I want to see how does my scene look like that. I'm going to do a Control-C to switch into a player mode. And again, now I can interact with my new model placed in the virtual world, okay? So this is quite a cool announcement. You can really switch back to the strategy. You can place quite a few other one. So this one, it's actually a small project that I'm going to show you soon. It's about the bike shed, you will see. Let's go to a specific scene. So in the construction scene, so you can create, for example, a quest with the scene construction. I'm going to edit. So this one is really specific to this scene. It's not working in the other one, okay? The idea is to automatically walk Bob around from point A, B, C, D, and carry on, okay? So he can walk and stop, or he can do a loop, he can do a single travel, single pass. So for example, I place my first point, so my waypoints are the yellow one, the blue one are for the quest, so pop-up message, what's going on, what's your instruction. The yellow one are more for waypoint, moving from one point to one point. So we have already waypoint number 1, we have waypoint number 2, and if I want, I could be adding a waypoint number 3. Again, this is really available only in the construction scene. It's really to assess your interest and how you could be using that. It has been used on the ConExpo recently to finally automatically run a character through a task. Okay, so I'm going to return to the main menu using the key button. I get here and I'm going to do run. And so you can see right over here, you have different status. So this one, nothing happened. We have moving from one point to another point. So he's waiting for you every time he's reaching a point. There is a single loop. So he's going to do from A, B, and C and stop when you arrive to the last point. There is always one is a continuous loop. So he's going to move from A, B, C, and after start again A, B, C infinitely. So how do we start doing that? So I just need to press the space bar and suddenly Bob starts moving. And so you can see then automatically go from point A to B to C, and normally it will go back to A, and he will do that infinitely. So I can press a space again, and he will get back there. If I do the point to point, he walk to the point A, and he will stop at point A, okay? And he's waiting for you to move to the next one. So I'm going to press a space again. Now he's moving to point B. This one is kind of a very cool feature where finally, if you are in a classroom, you want to set your lecture, you want to explain how you are going to do things. You are going to get Bob walking to the place you want. He's going to pause. You can give your instruction. You can speak over it. You can give some detail. For example, I'm surveying the road right now. We are going to capture the topographic survey before layering any kind of next level for the road. Boom, you're happy, and you move to the next step. So like that, you can carry on talking to your class. You can focus into your student or learner while Bob walks to the next place. Okay, so that's one of the aspects you can explore with this scene. Talking about classroom, so talking about training and teaching, this is a new enhancement we have done. So in the past, it was one-to-one. So one Trimble access to one virtual world, one SiteWorks to one virtual world. So this was quite useful at the beginning, but quite often we heard that professors want to control the virtual world while the student or the trainee use Trimble access. So that's what we have done. Now you can connect infinite number of field application to the virtual world, while, for example, I, as a professor, will be controlling virtual world, walk to a certain location, say to all the class, now you need to capture measure points, you need to create this, enter this code, you save it as you want, you switch to total station, you switch to GPS. I am in control of Bob. You are learning about the field application. So this can be very interesting. I haven't tested yet, but I think it's theoretically should be working. You can connect a Trimble access and a SiteWorks at the same time to the virtual world and get as well a measurement. Let's see. Let's make a race. Which one maps the fastest one? So this is the idea of the classroom. What else can we do? Walking. Oh, a very good one. So in the past, we have been hearing a lot about how to set up the config. So between if I'm using on the same laptop or if I'm switching from a controller, we had to set up the IP address. So before you was using the escape, we have removed that. Now you need to go to menu, to the settings, and we have created three tab, much cleaner, much easier to reach and understand. On the device tab, now you have only one address, one IP address. Before there was like three, one for the SX, one for the S series, one for the GPS, and all this stuff. We bundle all of it into a one, because usually when people want to switch from one device to another one, it's not just I want my S-Series on this device and the GPS on this one. No, it's usually all of them will switch on a split screen, so all on the same PC, localhost, or a different device like a TSC7 and a virtual world on the PC. And in this case, you just need to go to apply the IP address and change that. Next tab, very easy. It's a location. What's your GPS location? Where are you in the world? And the last one, so you have the control. This control board is pretty much up to date. It's not far from being true to reality. We still need to do a small tweak. For example, this one actually are not the slow motion, they fast run. And this one are not the fast moving, they are more like translation around the scene. So just don't be too frustrated, this will be updated soon. That's pretty much what we needed to speak about. So again, I really hope you are going to enjoy this new scene, this new enhancement. There is plenty of stuff to explore on top of really what we already released last time. So feel free to send us more feedback. We love this feedback. Your support is great and very useful. And we're definitely going to move toward integrating closer to the other solution in Trimble. So stay tuned for more updates and more information. See you.